when it says to name the distribution, right, of the longest side, if you cut this, then the longest side L is going to be a uniform distribution, right, somewhere between 30 and 60 centimeters. So there's the distribution, the uniform. When it talks about parameters, that just means the two end values, 30 and 60, right? And as we've seen earlier, the mean of L, E of L, is equal to a half of the two added together. So it's going to be 45. And the variance of L is going to be 1/12 60 minus 30 squared, right, which we just work out to give us 900 over 12. And I'm just going to leave it like that because I don't really need it. For part B, right, the difficult thing about this is to move the equation and the idea away from the L to the area and back again. All right, so the perimeter of the circle, right, is obviously 2 pi r. And 2 pi r in this case, right, links into what we're doing. So we know that 2 pi r is equal to L. We'll just move it up at that stage. We also know then that r is equal to L over 2 pi. There's the link between L and R. So I've got this one ready for me to use my uniform distribution, and that's what this question is talking about. Okay, now at this point we want to find out the probability that the area of the circle, pi r squared, right, is greater than 100. So that's the probability then that r squared is greater than 100 over pi, which is the probability, if I'm square rooting it now, just going to write it like this for a moment. Now at this point I can go up to this formula up here. So instead of L, we want to get it back in terms of L, my distribution. So I want the probability that L over 2 pi is greater than 100 over pi. So it's the probability that L is greater than, now this looks really awkward, but all I'm really going to be doing is just working it out now as a decimal. So I've got the probability that L is greater than that value. If I work this out as a decimal, it's the probability then that L is greater than 35.45. And just to remind you, just going to do a quick sketch diagram. So L is between 30 and 60. It's this uniform or rectangular distribution. So the height of that is 1/30. Right, so the probability then that L is greater than 35.45. But just draw that line down roughly, so that's 34.45. It's this area there, the shaded area. So it's 1 over 30 multiplied by this distance, which is 24.55. Right, and that gives me my answer. So just get my calculator at that point. 24.55 gives me 0.818.